The Go Durban project is an initiative by the National Department of Transport that was to be implemented by various metros across the country. However, after the project was launched in Durban in 2014, it was beset with challenges. Part of the national requirement was that the city negotiated with existing public transport operators who would eventually be operating the service. In 2016, the city says, negotiations started with operators but soon deadlocked, as operators wanted full ownership of the bus fleet. This resulted in an impasse that continued for more than 8 years. In October 2021, the city says it took a decision to review how they would implement the Go Durban operations. And in 2023, Council approved the amendments. The new revised approach would integrate the public transport operators, with operators and eThekwini Municipality having joint ownership of the fleet.
The main issue that we had with the latest deadlock was around the ownership of the vehicles. As a city, because of obvious lessons learned around the BRTs that have been implemented, we felt strongly as a city that we need to own some of the fleet so that if there's disputes in a later stage, we have control of the fleet as a city so that we can continue operations if there's a strike with the operator. With the new approach, we attempted to kind of ease that, because some of the fleet will be owned by the operators and some of the fleet will be owned jointly between the city and the operators. So we mitigated the concerns that have led to the deadlock in 2021.
eThekwini Municipality says contingency measures are in place should funding be halted from the national department.
Our intention is to utilize the grant funding that is there. So we will utilize the public transport operating grant, which is currently managed by the province, and we will optimize services within what we have. So in the event that there's no further funding that we receive beyond the PTOC, our intention is to then optimize services within the envelope that we have. But we cannot wait for approval from National Department of Transport and not improve what we have in the city because of the time delays of implementation of BRT services.
Action SA and the DA says the non-functional transport initiative is fruitless and wasteful expenditure that is costing the taxpayers millions of rands.
We have spent actually more than 8 billion, so 10 billion rand. We are getting about 1 billion grant from Department of Transport nationally. That's the money injected to the city, and we have spent so much money. Unfortunately, we have 10 stations that were finished that are sitting there, white elephant, and unfortunately, there are costs associated. Beside just budget for construction, we are spending about 200,000 rand per month for security per station, which amount to about 2 million per month just for securing these white elephant stations. Then we are spending about 300,000 rand for cleaning and maintenance on the stations, which we are spending about 3 million per month just to maintain this station. So basically per month, security and maintenance is costing the city about 5 million rand on these 10 stations that were finished.
The municipality has justified the allocation of millions of rands for the maintenance and payment of security guards at bus terminals despite the stations not being operational.
Unfortunately, with any infrastructure, it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're using it or not, you will have to maintain. And if you don't maintain, unfortunately, the dilapidation process becomes faster. So I note the concern that's there. How do you maintain something that's not functional? Maintenance has to happen in any infrastructure. It doesn't matter how, whether it's standing or being used, unfortunately. The infrastructure is practical, meaning it can be used. There are certain elements of the infrastructure still have to be done within the corridor. And currently we are finalizing those phases and also implementing. Probably we need an additional station to be done, and the money to be spent on that, currently we're looking at estimates and we're sitting around 300 million at the moment, but I cannot confirm, as you know, how these escalations are going on that, but we're required to do that infrastructure because otherwise with time it will end up being an issue that will be facing the city moving forward.
The city says the official launch of the Go Durban Transport Initiative is expected to be completed in January 2025. For SABC News, I am Jade Paulser in Durban.